because then you can upload it to YouTube.
Done. Go live on Facebook. Okay, it is preparing the live stream. Okay. And are you good?
Good.
Okay. I am gonna tag you. Here we go. All right, I think we are live. We are live. Hey girl.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good, so good. Living the dream life.
I am so happy to see you on here. Hello everyone tuning in. First of all, let us know where you are tuning in from. If you're watching the replay, put replay down below. We are so happy to have you here tonight for this training. It is going to be so incredible. I am so excited to be hanging out with my girl, Rochelle. We had the opportunity to meet and to speak together in North Carolina, which was so much fun and such a dream. And I wanted to bring her on here tonight because she is such a powerhouse. So again, before we get started, let us know where you guys are from. If you're watching the replay, we are so happy to have you here. And I hope you guys had an amazing weekend. Rochelle, your backdrop is like a dream.
Isn't it so beautiful?
It is so stunning. Okay.
It's so hot here.
I gotta know, introduce yourself. What was your life like before it works? What is it like now? Obviously, you're living the dream. Looking behind you. Like, I can't even handle this.
Okay, so I am Rochelle Coakley. I'm a presidential diamond, and I started this business 3 short years ago, 3 years in August. And what life looked like before it works for us, I was an office manager / accountant. I was going to school to be an accountant. I was working over 60 hours a week, you guys. I was like the busiest person on the planet. Brian was working for his parents. They own a hardwood floor company, and so that's what he was doing. And we were just like making ends meet, but I had a lot of credit card debt. I had over $10,000 in credit card debt that I had racked up, and I saw a friend posting about this and just decided, like, I've got to give this a shot, because no matter what I do, like, what did it for me is I kept seeing my credit card statements. You know how when it says, like, if you pay this minimum amount, you'll have it paid off in like 25,000 years.
Oh yeah.
Well, I was just like, I can't keep paying this minimum amount. So I joined for like an extra $300 to $500 extra per month. And within 6 months, I paid off that $10,000. Within a year, I retired myself completely. 2 months later, we found out we were pregnant with our beautiful little girl. She's now a whole year. She's now a year old. And
so perfect.
Thank you. The second that she was born, Brian never went back to work. So we were able to have us be a full-time family. When our baby girl was born, she's never known what it's like to not have mommy and daddy with her at all times.
Yeah.
And one day I woke up and I was like, okay, Brian, I remember this conversation so vividly. I was like, what would you do if we could just do whatever we wanted to do? Like, what do you want to do? And he was like, I want to travel the country full-time in an RV. And so obviously this wasn't just like we woke up the next day and decided to go buy an RV. It took us a whole year to plan it. Yeah. But we just started about 2 months ago. We're loving it. We're in Lake Havasu, Arizona. It's like 100 degrees out. It's so hot, but it is beautiful and amazing. And with our 1-year-old and our little dog, we are just traveling the country.
What a dream. Oh my goodness. It's just has been so incredible watching, your journey progress and just seeing you like true. You guys are living like the best life. It is so amazing to see. And I'm so proud of you I know the hard work that it takes to achieve a dream like that. So I want you to know that I'm so proud of you. And, I wanted to bring you on tonight, Rochelle, because you are known as one of our incredible keto coffee queens. And, there are a lot of new distributors who are tuning in tonight. And, maybe some people who they're like, okay, let's get some last minute volume. We have all of these incredible cash bonuses that are up for grabs. So I want you to just kind of explain, why are you known as the Keto Coffee Queen, and how can we be more like you and just really begin to grow and bring in all of that volume by making our cup of coffee every single day?
Okay, so I started something in January that I really didn't think was going to be this big of a hit, but I just decided that I was going to, on Instagram stories, I was going to just hit the hands-free option. If you guys know what I'm talking about, I'm not talking about live, but if you swipe all the way over like you're going to do a story.
Remember, you had to teach me this?
Yeah.
I had no idea, you guys.
If you're going to just like add a story to your Instagram, you swipe all the way over and you'll see hands-free at the bottom. You can just tap it, it'll start recording, and I literally just make my keto coffee with all of my followers every single morning. It's not live, it's not like nerve-wracking, it's literally just me. And actually, I started doing it with Huntley, my daughter, on my hip before she got all squirrely and like sassy. But that was like the biggest hit, is everybody was so excited every single morning to see me and my daughter doing our hands-free, making our coffee. And so that first month, you guys, I brought in over 65 customers solely from coffee stories. That was it. All I was doing was talking about what the coffee does and making it and talking to them about my life, which I think is kind of a key little point too that we'll get into. So just making my coffee every single day and being consistent with it and telling people what it's done for me. And I've lost over 45 pounds since I've had her. And I tell people that every single day. And that's how do you want me to go into more detail?
Yeah, here's the thing is that people think like they can't go live because they don't have a huge network, or they're like, I don't even know who would be watching my stories or watching my live videos. So what does that look like for you? What does your network look like? Because we all start somewhere. Like so many people start with hardly any followers. Yes. So for you specifically, what does that look like?
So I had less than 200 followers on Instagram. And Instagram was actually something that was kind of scary for me because I hadn't really dabbled in knowing how to do it at all. So this has been a learning curve for me. I was mostly Facebook when I first started. So moving over to Instagram, I've built myself in the 3 years only to 6,000 followers, you guys. And you might be thinking like, wow, that's a lot of followers, but really in the grand scheme, that's not a ton of following for as many people as I'm signing and as many people that are watching these stories. So I have about 1,000 views. I stay pretty consistent with 1,000 views, which might seem silly since there's 6,000, but that's quite a few views on your story. Like the ratio of it. But anyways, so I personally have so many relationships. I build relationships. I'm always interacting on my feed. I'm always jumping into people's inboxes and just talking about regular stuff. The other thing is like, they come to me because of these coffee stories. So they're watching me and they're like, what do you make? What are you making? Like, what is this? Or what's that greens powder? Or what's that brown powder that you're using? Or what, like they have so many questions. Do you have to be on a keto diet? Just anything and everything that they're just watching. Maybe they even come across it. They don't know anything about me. And they're seeing somebody just make their coffee talking about their day. And they're like, I want to know what she's doing. So it doesn't even have anything to do with like what I'm selling. And a lot of the times they don't even know that I'm selling it. They're just like, what's this drink that you've lost 45 pounds on? And I'm like, oh, let me tell you about it. And that's how it started, is just, I just do this every single day, you guys. And they just come to me with wanting all of this information.
I love that. And you know what? I feel like so many people, when they hear like your stories or like I have to go live, they think of like an infomercial almost, Yeah. But what I love about how you do it and just how you teach it is you're incorporating this into your everyday life. And so, you know, like when you guys are just out and about, no matter where you are, like it doesn't matter if you have makeup on, it doesn't matter what's going on around you. Like you're just welcoming people into your life. And so I kind of want you to touch on that it doesn't have to be like this perfect layout, perfect setup every single day. And I think that truly that's one of the reasons why you've been so successful with it, is because people are following like your journey, and they're following like you being your most authentic self by not always having it be picture perfect. And that's what people love. So what tips can you give us with how to just really just be the most authentic we can while we're doing this, without having that pressure of it going smoothly and being perfect, and like while we're also pitching a product? You know, that's the goal, is we fall in love with these products, and you're selling the product. So what does that look like?
So I'll never forget when I was being interviewed by Pam. She asked me, she goes, "Do you have a tripod that you like set up?" And I couldn't help but laugh, because I was like, oh no, like I just set my phone like so that the camera is on me, leaned up against my backsplash. Like, and we're in a trailer, you guys. So like, no, I do not have a tripod. I cannot pack that thing around. Like, so honestly, it's that simple. I literally just like put it up on my backsplash, and then I just talk into it. And just a little tip, because you will run into this, Instagram now on the stories or on the hands-free limits you to 4 little clips. So like, it's like 15-second clips. So my story is usually like 3 to 4 minutes long. And so I'll start talking, I'll hit it, I'll start talking. And when it hits that 4th clip, I just stop it and upload the 4, and then restart again and upload another 4. I hope that's making sense.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
It's super simple. And so what it's become like Brian knows, my fiance knows, like every single morning I'm like, gotta do my coffee story. Like you take Huntley outside, like I'm going to do my coffee story, or vice versa. I'll go outside or whatever. Cause I used to do it with her, but she's such a big girl now. She wants to try and like froth it up. She wants to do all
grab everything.
Like, yeah. So anyways, it's such a non-negotiable for me every single morning. A couple weeks ago, we didn't have service where we were. And I mean like zilch, like it said no service at the top of my phone. And I was like sweating, freaking out. I'm like, I've got to do my coffee story. And so I actually pre-recorded it like on a video on my iPhone. I just, instead of doing it on Instagram, I pre-recorded the video. And then there's an app called Cut Story that you can go through, and it will actually cut your videos into 15 seconds, and you can upload it to Instagram. And so I rode my bicycle into town, got service, and uploaded my coffee story. That is how serious
you are
I am.
Committed.
I'm telling you guys, it's been such a game changer for my business. And like, I can't tell you, at least 40 to 50 customers a month I'm signing just from the coffee stories, and they're just coming to me. So, and I know that seems like, I remember hearing people be like, oh, they're just coming to me. And I'm like, yeah, right. Like, I am telling you, I show up every single day, and I can't tell you enough. If I don't show up by like 10 a.m., no joke, I'm not even kidding you. People are like, did you not do your coffee? Are you going to make your coffee? I'm dead serious. And I'm like, whoa, I will get to my coffee. Like, I promise you, it is that big of a deal. If you're that consistent, people start to look forward to it. And I've had so many people tell me how positive it is, and that they love just watching our life. They get inspired by it. And so one thing that I want you to know is I'm not just pitching a product. I'm making my coffee, and I'm telling them about my life. So I'm saying, you know, Brian and I are going to go to the lake today. We're in Lake Havasu. We're doing this, we're doing that. You know, I can do it in different backgrounds like this, which I realize not everybody is traveling. So, you know, before we started traveling, we've only been doing this for 2 months, you guys. Before that, it was literally just in my kitchen, you know, so, or outside my house. You can do it however you want. It's super simple. It's just the main thing to remember is that you're showing up every single day to do it. If you don't drink the coffee, maybe do your collagen, or do your greens, like, or take your probiotics on hands-free and talk about it, and just say what it's doing and what you're doing for the day. People can
do this with any product, right? Like any stinking product. So, okay. So when you're bringing in new distributors, because I know that there are a lot on here that are watching tonight, how would you coach them through, you know, they ordered the keto coffee, they ordered the chocolate detox, which is vocabulary I got from you. You call it, you know, the chocolate detox, and I love that. So they're ordering that. How do you coach them through how to first begin doing their own coffee stories?
So at first, actually, it's a great way to introduce them to an auto shipment as well, because now they are being a product of the product. So if you want to try the products, I suggest the keto coffee and the chocolate detox, like I call it, so that you have the equipment that you need to be showing people that you're using the products.
Yeah.
And so if they're nervous, because you guys, I was like a wreck. I was a wreck the first time I did it. I remember I wrote down, like I had like 10
what
little
to say.
yeah, of like detox
Breathe.
and this and that. And like certain things every single day, I'll actually leave things out on purpose sometimes. Like there are times where I'll leave things out so that people will ask me questions.
Yes, exactly.
Because I can't tell you how many times if you just like word vomit all over them, it's the same thing in a message. Like if you word vomit, they're like, okay, that's too much info. I'm overwhelmed. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So instead, just say things like if you've lost 5 pounds, say you've lost 5 pounds. I personally lost 45 pounds on this coffee. I absolutely love it. And so they see my passion and they see it come through. And I remember in the first week I lost 5 pounds and I was shouting that from the rooftops for like ever. And so like think of it as a new person watching you every single day. Don't think of your mom or your best friend watching these annoying coffee videos, because that's where you'll get caught up in it of like, oh, she's making her coffee again. And it's like, yeah, I am, because look how successful we are. And look how many people we're helping. And look how many people are messaging me how much weight they've lost. And I had a girl, you guys, this one gets me every time, message me this long thing. I started her on Coffee and Greens, and she said to me that she has never felt this confident before. It had been 3 years since she took a picture with her son. Wow. 3 years since she felt comfortable enough to take a picture with her son. And she sent me a picture of her and her son. Like I will never stop doing these coffee stories because of that story.
Yes.
So just make sure that you guys, don't put yourself in it. That's why sorry, I'm getting off track. That's why I tell
this is so amazing. I love it.
Stop getting scared of, what they're thinking of you, and instead just make the coffee. And sometimes you might not even be able to look at the camera. Like write down what you need to say, have it on the side, and just say
little bullet points won't hurt anybody.
Yeah. And just like, this is a fat burning mocha. It's going to put your body into fat burning mode. It keeps your body in fasting mode. I add my chocolate greens. It tastes like hot cocoa. You guys can add anything that you want to add to it. It's just coffee. That's it. I always say that because so many times they're like, well, I want to try it first. And I'm like, well, do you like coffee? Do you like hot cocoa? Because that's what it tastes like. Like there's no need to try it. You can figure out a way to like it, because I'll be the first one to admit, if you make me the regular keto coffee with water, I will puke and pour it all out. Like I personally do not like the keto coffee by itself, but you put 2 scoops of chocolate detox in it and a little bit of Italian sweet cream creamer, I will drink that.
You're there all day.
So it's just, it's just about how you like it. It's the same with regular black coffee. I won't drink it. So you just have to be confident about it and make sure that you're coming off to your customers or potential customers. They can doctor this up any way they want. And I think that's the key. And then the practice, just practicing every single day. Maybe you can't get that coffee story up your first day. So set the camera up. I can't tell you how many times before I've gone live, you guys, that I sit there with the camera up on me and I'm like, oh, okay, let me just say everything that I'm going to say. And then I say it all. And then I go live and I don't say anything that I was going to say. Like that's me too, you guys. So I tell my new distributors that too. They need to know that you've been there.
We have all been there. Like I even still have moments where I'm like, oh my gosh, like we so get it. You guys, you are not alone in this. So one thing I do want people to know is that you're double dipping this. So you're growing on Instagram and Facebook as well, and you're sharing it both places. So they don't have to just share it on one platform. And we definitely recommend you guys that you're sharing this on both platforms for sure.
Yeah, I just simply, like if you go into your settings, you can share your Instagram story so that everything from your Instagram story goes over to your Facebook. I recommend that you do that. Yeah. And you guys, I'm not just doing the coffee story either. Like my whole life, like I'll do my coffee story in the morning, and then whatever we're doing throughout the day, that's going on there as well. I'm always dripping what we're doing in our lives. And that's what you should be doing too. Don't make your Instagram solely about selling a product. Make it about your passions, about your things that really make you, because that's what will keep those people watching that same coffee story every single morning.
Yes, I so agree. So, you know, last or a couple of weeks ago, I got on and I was talking about just building your brand and discovering the five core pillars of what your social media is wrapped around. So, what are those five for you? And how do you kind of incorporate that? I know you just mentioned like you're incorporating that when you're talking on your stories, like in between your stories. So, what are your five pillars and what does that look like incorporating them in?
So for me, my faith, my God, that is like all over my page. And then my family, my coffee, because I post about my coffee as well. Like that is, people know I'm the coffee girl. Traveling is a passion of ours. Riding, dirt bikes or razors, or like doing things like adventurous outdoors, hiking, like outdoorsy stuff. That is that only four? Yeah. And then the fifth one is that Huntley girl, my daughter, always has a bow on. Like I'm literally known for being the mom that like puts a bow, like if we're sitting in a restaurant and she throws it off, I'm like, put her bow back on. Like she's got to have
She
her bow
needs
on.
her bow.
And everybody knows this. Like,
Oh
and
my.
so that shows in my page. And there's a lot of people that, you know, connect with those things. And what's great about that is when you're building your following, you guys, you don't want somebody that, you know, you want people that are going to be watching what you're doing and loving the content that you're creating. And it wasn't always like that for me. Like I remember I didn't have anything to post about, or I felt like I didn't have anything to post about. And so the number one thing that I would say when you don't have a story yet, like, you know, this is beautiful and this is incredible and this is like a dream come true for us. But 3 short years ago, we didn't have palm trees behind us. You know, we had like, the cutest, smallest little house out in the tiniest town in Oregon. And honestly, like, sorry, what I was trying to say is when you don't have anything to post about, just remember that you need to be talking about what you're going to do or who you're currently talking to. So what I tell all my new distributors is like, if you don't have anything to post about, then post about you're talking to 3 people right now about getting your fat burning mocha for 52% off. I say 52% off because there's like the mocha dream deal and you can, anyways, that's another training for another day. But my point is like, talk about it in your posts. Like talk about how many people you're talking to about this incredible opportunity. You don't have to be signing people to be successful. Here's the kicker. Other people are watching what you're doing and they're like, who's she talking to? She's talking to 3 women about joining. She's talking to 3 mamas about joining. I probably should message her because those 3 people are interested. So now I'm interested. It's all about perspective and building that curiosity.
So and you're signing so many business partners too, not just customers. That's the thing, you guys, is she's signing customers and business partners with these coffee stories.
They're seeing how simple it is, you guys. Like, I can't tell you how many distributors or potential distributors are like, so you make your coffee every day? And I'm like, yeah, like it's that simple. It's that simple. And it might seem scary at first, but you guys, it's just a skill. And it's just a skill that you learn. And I think that's important for you to tell your potentials too, is like, I was the first person to say I'm not a salesperson. And how long was it that I said that I wasn't a salesperson? Brian's sitting right next to me. And so he's like, you're such a good salesperson. And for like 2 full years, I was like, I'm not a salesperson.
I'm not a salesperson.
Argue with him. And then there was one day, and I don't even remember how it happened, but we were driving and I was like, I'm a salesperson. Like, it's just like an influencer. You know, like you're somebody that inspires other people. And this is a passion of mine that I've grown into and that I've learned how to do. It's just a skill. You just learn it.
Yes. And you just have to be willing to get uncomfortable enough to start growing. And that is when everything just opens up for you. So Rochelle, if there was someone on here and they're like, okay, I've never done a coffee story, I have the products, if you could write their bullet points for them, what would you write on it?
Okay, so I would say like simple, because it's so simple. You just tear it open, pour it in with hot water. There's no brewing, nothing. So I would say like simple, on the go, easy packets. I would say fat burning, fasting mode, like it keeps your body in that fasting mode if you replace it as your breakfast. Not on a keto diet. You do not have to be on a keto diet in order to benefit from this coffee. Obviously a healthy lifestyle, you guys, as you know, is the best way to use our products. But, and then I would just say, let's see, I'm like trying to backtrack here. Oh, and then our chocolate detox, always add in the chocolate detox. I always say it's going to give you all your servings of fruits and veggies and 52 superfoods. If I have Huntley on my hip, I give it to Huntley. It's pediatrician approved. You can say that. I say that every day, and let them know that, because if they are watching and their moms and their kids won't eat veggies, then now they might not be interested in the coffee, but they're interested in the greens. So always be dripping that. And then I just say, I personally, how much weight have you lost would be another, or what does it do for you? So for me,
what's the goal that you're working towards too?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But for me, it's also really helped my migraines. So I drip that, like, I'll probably say that like 3 times a week or so. I don't do it every day, but the greens solely have helped my migraines so much. And I have so many people message me on the days that I say that, and they're like, I have migraines. What do you do? And so there's so many of like focus, energy, you guys, it does so much more than just weight loss. So that's something that I would say too.
Yeah. And it's like, this is a compound effect, you guys. That's what you have to understand is the more products that you order, the more your testimony grows, the more it's easier. Like, it just gets easier to talk about this. And so Rochelle and I were talking, and we do want to make it so clear for you guys that you can do this with all of the products that you have your hands on as you're building your testimony, as you're trying out different products and falling in love with everything that we have to offer. You know, you have an opportunity to share this with other people in such a unique way, like Rochelle does. And so, Rochelle, before we close out, I just want to know, what are you doing on social? How do you continue to grow? You know, that 6,000 followers, that's quite a bit. So what do you do daily online?
So I am always interacting. So the first thing that I do in the morning is go through and interact and follow. So I go, and when I start following people, I don't know why I feel like this is important to share, but until I had like 5,000 followers, I actually was private. For some reason, it worked better for me. And I would follow a bunch of people, and then they would follow me back because I was private. So once I got over that 5,000 threshold and we started traveling, for me, it made more sense to become public. And so I did. And so what I have found that really works with getting followers back is just making sure that when you're interacting and when you're following, you're commenting, you're liking, you're giving them some love and some genuine comments, not just like heart eyes or something like, I love that shirt. Where is it from? Like, try to get a response from them. And then I'll also interact with my stories. And so I try and clean that up a little bit. It was really hard for me to like unfollow some of my teammates because it it just broke my heart. But I did it to kind of clean up my feed a little bit more to see my potentials. And I encourage them to do the same. So just make sure that you're cleaning that up and not getting stuck in that scroll hole or like, watching the stories. Make sure that you're interacting with people who are true potentials. And so always interacting, that's huge. Before I post, I always interact for about 10 minutes. And like I said, it's liking, commenting. And then I'm following at least twice to 3 times a day. It kind of depends on my day, but I try and make that a priority. And then I'm posting at least once a day. There are some days where I'll go crazy and like I have more to talk about and I'll post like 3 times, but usually it's just like once a day. And one thing I do want to point out, you guys, because so many leaders do things so differently. With attraction marketing, I personally, every single one of my pictures, even if it's like Easter, I'm not even kidding, every single one of my pictures is an opportunity post in some way, shape, or form. And it doesn't always have to say like text opportunity to this. I'm not talking about like right in your face. What I'm saying is though, it's either talking about freedom or it's talking about, our life or whatever and what we're able to do because of this business or, it's always about opportunity. And I teach my team that too. I tell them always, like, if you're posting a selfie, it better not have just one emoji. It better have a story. It better have something that you're telling a story. And so that is what I teach the girls. Like the second that they join me is I'm like, no more emoji selfie posts. We are lifestyle posts only. And so that's how I personally build my business. And that is how I get so many distributors coming to me is they are always like, what do you do? What I see you posting about this. And I don't mention it works at all.
Yeah.
And anything.
Okay. So I guess my last question before we wrap up and give them a call to action is, if someone is interested in your coffee, you know, they respond to that, your stories, what does that conversation look like? How are you sealing the deal with them?
Okay, so I normally ask them if they're familiar with the keto lifestyle. I don't know. I just started this like so long ago that it's just like my go-to now. So I'm always asking them, are they familiar with the keto lifestyle? Because if they are, it's a lot easier to go into exactly how the coffee works. If they're not, then I can explain like, okay, well, it's basically a high fats, medium protein, low carb diet. The coffee works just like this. You do not have to be on a keto diet in order for it to work. And then I give them the product info and my personal results. So I'll say, let me send you over the product info. I send them the product info and then my personal results. That is the time where usually it's crickets, right? Because you didn't give them a question. So there, you kind of have to go back there and make sure that you're always following up. That's the biggest tip that I have with this. And say, you know, this is going to put your body into fat burning mode. Are you interested in pricing? It's literally that quick of a conversation because they came to me. So now they're interested. Here's what it is. Here's the pricing. And you guys, I always give them the full month supply pricing. As a 90-day product model, you're going to get a bag of keto, or you're going to get a full month supply for $78, normally $130. How does that sound? They're like, great, awesome. Okay, then I explain the 90-day trial, and then I send them to my website. It is that simple. It is like a 3 to 4 message back and forth. And that's what the coffee stories do, is it just opens up that conversation immediately. And I do also message, I think it's important to say this too. I do also message, I forgot to mention that when you were asking what I do on social, but what I will message is something as simple as like, hey girl, I was looking at your profile. I am expanding my business to your area, which works really good for me because we're traveling.
Yeah.
So I'm expanding my business into your area. Would you know of anybody who's interested in making an extra income? And what this does is opens up that door. I can't tell you how many people are like, no, but I'm super interested in your coffee. I watch your coffee stories every single morning. And I'm like, shoot, if I wouldn't have messaged her, she probably never would have reached out. So, and if they're not interested or they don't know of anybody, I ask them for a host a post on Instagram or Facebook. So that's another thing is I do a giveaway every month, and that's what I'll enter them into if they're not interested in that. So you kind of hit them at all angles.
Yeah, you got it all covered. Like this
all
was
angles
amazing.
At once.
You guys, how amazing is she, and how amazing was this webinar? I want to see some coffee emojis if you guys are just mind blown and have a notebook filled with tips. And our call to action for you guys is we want to see you go on your coffees, do a coffee story. We want to see you on your Instagram story, on your Facebook story. Start doing these coffee stories, even if you just start doing it once a week. Start once a week, go up to 2 to 3 to 4, and then soon enough, you're going to be the next Rochelle doing it almost every single day. But I want you to get comfortable with getting uncomfortable and just watch what this does for you, for your business, for your income, for your team. You know, train this. This is a ripple effect. This is something that every single one of you can do. So get these products in your auto shipment. Start being more visible. Stay committed to being visible and just, you know, sharing every single part of your journey while you're making your coffee with your chocolate detox. Just like Rochelle shared with us tonight, you guys. This is something that every single one of you can do. And Rochelle, I cannot thank you enough for jumping on here with me. I am just so proud of you. You inspire me so much. I love learning from you.
Oh my goodness.
I am just so proud of you.
You're the best. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Good night, you guys. We hope you love this. See you all later.
Bye.